What's up, guys? BeefyTanks here. Wanted to take a moment to announce that, hey, look at that. We're in 4K, baby. I got my Tier 9 British tank destroyer, my Tortoise here. A bunch of my friends have been asking, hey, I want something that will withstand a storm, can shoot accurately, and, I could sit up on a hill and just shoot everybody that I want, and I never get hurt. Well, here's the tank for you, and I'll show you why. So let's get started here. Let's go back to my view and get moving. Double speed, quad speed. Let's go. So I end up moving west just because I know that I can pretty much hold down this entire west side here, down the one line. And it was a good thing I did end up moving over here because we ended up getting a couple heavies, a couple mediums, and a tank destroyer, one of the Sturves. So we're going to slow it down here to single time speed, and so it begins. So I end up taking a shot right at the gunplate of a T-34 and bouncing, obviously. But then again, make sure you watch the top of your screen there. The T-54 has already bounced once. I believe the T-34 bounces here. The Sturv ends up hitting me. The T-34 bounces, and I hit him like directly into his hatch pan. From this distance, that's an amazing shot. I see the Sturv out in the distance, and I take a shot, but it doesn't even hit him. T-34 returns again. Take a shot at his hatch. Misses. Actually, it bounces right off the side of his hatch and hits the pipes that are above him. And to answer your question, yes, it can bounce off and defeat another tank or hurt a friendly, all kinds of stuff. Whenever that round bounces off, it will do damage afterward. So I miss again on the T-34, but the T-34 bounces off my track. Actually, not even off of my track, just on my tank. T-54 Mod 1 I miss, and not only does the T-54 but also the Sturv both bounce when I'm sitting here. I love the downward armor on this. I take a shot at the hatch of the T-34, and this dumbass FV-215B-183 ends up moving in the way. As you can see, I'm pretty pissed in chat. Take another shot at his hatch and ends up hitting at that gunplate again. T-54 moves up, takes a shot, and bounces off of my armor. So far, it bounced a lot of damage. Fire at the hull of this T-34, it goes right over, and the T-54 Mod 1 ends up bouncing again. I want to kill T-34. Gunplate, hatch, goes right over the hatch as he moves out of the way, and I reload. Now that's another great thing about this, is that it reloads quickly. I bounce off this T-54 if I recall, yes, and he bounces off me as well. But my next shot, right at the hatch of this vehicle, oh, look at that. I love getting a penetration. T-34 bounces for 400 damage. T-54 Mod 1 moves up again. I take another shot, and I don't even hit his turret, but that gives the T-34 time to move up because he thinks I'm going to reload for a while. Ooh. His shot misses. My shot penetrates and defeats him. So I know with the heavy down I can move up quite a bit, and thus I do so. Double speed. Super fast speed. If anybody remembers that from Only Use Me Blade. And here we go. Super Conqueror, Tier 10 Heavy, ends up rolling up and getting one shot because he exposed his front armor. T-54 bounces yet again off of me. That's got to be at least 6 times. And he ends up moving out. Tiptoe, tiptoe. Oh, did I track you? Oh, did I allow my team to nuke you? Oh, man. That sucks to be you. So I roll up with AP loaded on the Sturv 1030. Tier 9 tank destroyer, very angled armor, hard to pin. I bounce with my AP, so I end up switching over to HE, just because I know that I'd rather guarantee damage than not. But check this out. It lands right in the perfect spot. Woo! Getting that hatch, goes right down into the hatch, nukes the tank, you gotta love that. So yeah, anyway, let's speed it up a bit. I think this is where my usefulness on this map ends. But look at that total, dude. 3 of these 4 victims over here are mine. It's just wonderful. This tank is badass, made of steel and hatred and you know, fortitude. It's just in resolution. It's just an incredible tank. I really enjoy the armor. I enjoy the positioning you could take with it. The only problem I do have with it is the speed. But then again, to pretty much guarantee penetration, have a alpha damage of around 400, and be invincible, it would be a little OP to make it as fast as an LT-100, wouldn't it? So yeah, I believe that ends the game as soon as this tier 9 is surrounded by my entire team and eliminated. And there it goes. So yeah, man. Tier 9 British tank destroyer, the Tortoise. This thing is hardcore. My Iron Duke. Super cool. Alright, so right off the bat I want to address something that one of my viewers asked me. I use FS Viewer for viewing my screenshots at the end of the game here. Faststone, their products are pretty great. Check out their freeware on their website, lots of great stuff. But anyway, let's get right down into it, to this Tortoise game on Pilsen. I ended up getting a 3rd class mastery badge as well as a duelist for taking my lumps while also eliminating enemies pretty efficiently. I got a shell breaker for all the bounces, as well as a steel wall, which is pretty much the ultimate award when it comes to taking bounces and ricochets. You actually have to deflect up to 1,000 damage beyond, which is pretty cool. I also got a cool-headed for absorbing 10 rounds without taking any damage, which is cool too. So if we take a look at the team score, if you noticed, check out the IS-4 at the top of my team's score here. He got 4,300 damage done, and he got the same experience that I did, simply because of my achievements and the ability to bounce possible potential damage. Very cool. Go over to the detailed report and you'll notice this number right up here. 7,698 credits just because I hit the back of that 215B183 because he's an idiot. He knew I was making accurate shots. He knew I was dealing damage to the enemy, yet he had to be a hog and move up and take a shot. Which sucks because he was actually, placing his tank incorrectly. When it comes to angled armor, you're not supposed to stick your front end out if you're a rear turreted tank destroyer. But, then again, he's an idiot, and I wish I had his tank because I wasn't able to play in time to grab it before it was removed. But anyway, it ended up being 5,300 credits in the hole. Not too happy about that, but hey, it was a great game. Let's take a look at the next one. So here we are in Abbey. We're going to take a look at another game that I had a little bit earlier, but first, let's take a look at this gorgeous tank, shall we? Oh yeah, get that barrel right in my face, bruh. The Iron Duke. I really do enjoy 4K. This looks really, really nice, and hopefully I can post all my videos in the future in 4K. But anyway, let's get going here. Skip, 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 skip. Double, quad, let's get going. So I end up moving here, and this VK4502, played by a player named Crip here, he's bad. He's real bad. A lot of players who are real bad end up playing, tiers 8, 9, and 10, and it's a shame because then the 9s and 10s have to tolerate these people. But anyway, as I roll up, an E75 bounces off of me with a GW Tiger P nailing me just because of the scout tank up there. I'm going to roll it back a bit. I also have a low that ends up damaging my hull from a distance, and I know that he's probably hiding at about G8, with the artillery hiding at around K or J8, where I usually hide when I am on the other team. But you'll see why I hate Crip in just a few short moments. The low bounces off me yet again for 320 damage, so I end up blocking a lot of damage in this game, and actually the reason I'm showing you this one second is just because in terms of mastery, this did end up being a little bit higher of an award. And I don't believe I bounced as much damage as I did in the last game. If you recall, it was about 3,600 damage, 4,600, something like that. Just a buttload of potential damage. But we're going to go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. Double, quad. Bring it back down to double now that this AMX is low. He's running around. I spot a low, and I end up getting an amazing shot from a distance on the move with this gun, because it is not known to penetrate the low with its very angled turret. Now the AMX shows up down near the shore. I take a shot, and I get knocked by someone behind me, and I fail to kill the target. So I really appreciate his help there. As he passes me, I tell him that I really appreciate the job he's doing in chat. I really appreciate the help that he gave me right there. God, what a freaking prick. If you line up a perfect shot and somebody knocks into you, they're obviously not paying attention. And that's what really frustrates me. When you're playing tier 8, 9, and 10, this is competition level. Please don't be an idiot. Just don't be an idiot. Like, seriously, you can get distracted, that's fine. Just don't be a complete moron like this guy. AMX 1390 ends up going around the rock, and I will predict the future here. He drowned. I took a shot from the GW Tiger P, only dealing about 4 damage to my hull, but it did track me and disable my crew, which ends up being much more detrimental. End up hiding behind Crypt because I would really enjoy if he died. He ends up taking 5 damage from an unknown source, most likely artillery. I bounce off the E75 for what will be many times, because I realized that in this game, unlike the game before it that I showed you, this is an older game in which I only have a tier 8 gun. Let's actually spin around and take a look at that. Yeah, there's no break in the gun, as you can see, where there's usually a muffler, or whatever they like to call it, halfway down the barrel. Compensator. Not so much a compensator, but you know what I mean. So I take a shot at the E75 and it bounces. The low fires a shot and for some reason deals 97 damage. I think it was because he was using HE, just to guarantee damage. I take a shot at the low's track and I don't think it tracks him because he deals damage of about 121 and backs off. I think he is using HE and he's hitting my hatch and he's dealing little bits of damage trying to kill me. I take a shot at the E75 yet again and bounce yet again. I'm using the premium ammunition as well, which surprises me quite a bit. My ally behind me is being a real tool, and he's causing lots of problems. But I end up moving out to take a shot at the E75, and I penetrate his lower glasses for about 400 damage. Another 320 damage is bounced off, but then the low hits me for 120, and the E75 damages my track. I think I disable the track of this low here. I do. And then I end up reloading to try to respond to the C-75, who bounces, but the low, yet again, succeeds in dealing damage. And that's right when I end up destroying the low with a front panel attack. So what is cool about this tank is that because it's extremely heavily armored, you can just roll up on the enemy and deal damage. It is a good idea, however, to make sure that you have backup, and right now the VK-4502 is defeated. And I end up taking out the E-75 just before artillery ends up landing a shot. Very glad I was able to pull that out of the jaws of the sky demons. Although I really do hate when people, blam artillery. Artillery is completely legitimate. It's a way to stop players from camping and being completely useless douches. But it also makes sure that you have to be a responsible heavy tanker. Use cover. Hide behind appropriate cover that you think would be between you and the artillery. It's not too difficult. Quit being a bitch and going on the forum and complaining about it, because it'll never go away. We are 10% of the gamer base that is hated by 95%. Do the math, that does make sense. GW Tiger P comes around the corner. I take a shot for 250 damage. He takes a shot and it sails right over my hull. I take another right to his faceplate and defeat him. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of the game. I'm going to go to double, quad. Moving. End up going up to the base, and that is the game. So yeah, man. Tier 9. You know what really sucks? Unfortunately, just because World of Tanks is World of Tanks, and we're all aware of this, I went down to my detailed reports to take screenshots of this game, and apparently I was only able to take a screenshot of the first one, even though I scrolled to the other two and took screenshots of those as well. Apparently the game loves to screw you over when it comes to saving screenshots, so what can you do? But here's the card anyway. It was a game on Abbey with the Tortoise, 2nd class mastery badge, a shellbreaker, duelist, and a steel wall yet again. Gotta love steel wall. Spotted 4 tanks, dealt damage to us by assist of about 1,000 damage to 3 of them, and bounced 9 rounds, 7 of which came from the E75 at an avoided damage of about 2,500, 2 module damaging, and 1,600 damage dealt over 7 shots, with 3 enemies defeated. So anyway, this has been BeefyTanks. As always, it's a pleasure. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe, and click that little bell so that you're notified of future releases. I'm going to be releasing every 2 to 3 days in the foreseeable future. Hopefully I'll be able to get a whole lot more attention than I have been lately. Recently, one of my videos hit about like 4,000 views. It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it jumping quite a bit. I just hit 50,000 views channel-wide, so I'm really looking forward to developing this and making it bigger, and that's why I moved up to 4K. I can't wait for the March update 1.0. Make sure you go to World of Tanks Encore, and make sure you download that book, that benchmark, excuse me, to determine whether or not your computer is going to be able to handle the new update when it releases. So anyway, as always, this is Beefy Tanks. I'll check you guys later. Keep it beefy on the battlefield.